Amen. Isaiah 46, we know that there's an interaction between Babylon and Cyrus. Cyrus is a Medo-Persian, and I'm just checking if it's on the board. I don't think it's on the board. So we know that the Medes and Persians are symbolized by a sheep. How do we know that? Brother Mario, Bible verse? Medo-Persia is a sheep. Bible verse. No. No, one flesh stuff. Daniel 8. Verse. No, verse. Brother Jonathan?
Repeat the question, I was reading something.
Medo-Persia is a sheep. Bible verse to prove that.
A sheep?
He's giving you the chapter, Daniel chapter 8.
So let's go there and read.
Memorization.
That
Sister Sarah?
Verse 3.
Verse 3 and?
4.
Not 4. Verse 3, you don't know who that's talking about. Brother Larry?
It's not verse 3 and 4, is that what you asked?
Verse 3 talks about a sheep, but it doesn't tell you who the sheep is.
20.
Verse 20. Daniel 8 verses 3 and 20 ties it all together, so we know that. We know that this story is around the time period of Manasseh. Yeah? So we can already figure that out. But with when we do Manasseh, we have to remember that this is not Manasseh, time of the end. This is not Seven Thunders Manasseh. Does everybody understand that? Do you even know what I'm talking about if I say it's not a Seven Thunder Manasseh?
yeah. Clarify. Say it.
Sister Shamila, do you understand what I'm talking about? Explain it then, clarify it please.
You're not talking about the Manasseh, which was who had been taken captive by the
By the Assyrians?
Yes.
Which Manasseh am I talking about?
You're referring to the it's not coming to mind, but it's someone's son. I can't remember who.
You agree with that?
I haven't mentioned the person's name, so how can they be?
I'm asking, did they agree that there's another Manasseh? Brother Tyler?
I'm not sure of the context of that.
Okay. So there's only one Manasseh. It's the same Manasseh that we're talking about, the one that gets taken captive.
Yeah.
Captive. So it's the same person. There isn't another Manasseh.
Why did you ask which Manasseh?
I said it's not the one for the Seven Thunders.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is,
Oh, okay, yeah.
if we just use this model here because it's on the board, 70 years back takes you to Manasseh to Zedekiah. We agree with that?
Yeah.
Here is 7 kings of Judah. Yep. So, if you're going to run through this history sequentially, where's the time of the end? It's not that straightforward to answer that question unless you have some context. But in the context of Isaiah 46, where's the time of the end?
Manasseh, 6 and 7.
Nope.
In context of?
Isaiah 46.
Sorry.
In context of Isaiah 46, where's the time of the end? Time of the end, it's the end of Babylon.
Babylon, yeah. So
See.
it would be 530.
So we haven't given the date, but it's this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah? So this is the time of the end. And Isaiah is looking here and preaching down to that history. Yeah? So in real life, he's standing here in this history here. I put Isaiah here. He's in this history and he's looking forward to this point here. That's where he's pointing to. So in that context, it's not in the history of Manasseh as a seventh thunder, because Manasseh would be the time of the end if you're going to put one history on top of the other.
Yeah.
But we're looking at this history, and then we're going to see the prehistory before that. Does that make sense? We already demonstrated that, because where is this chapter even in this reform line? We had in the darkness. We had all these answers before, but it's here in this darkness. Yeah. So here, this is the, I guess, the technical darkness, but the darkness goes all the way back until you hit another reform line. So Isaiah's here, and he's in the period of darkness, and he's looking forward. So we established that, and we're saying that that Cyrus is going to come and do what? He's going to come and deliver God's people, and he's a sheep. So we understand that, and we're going to make an application that the Medes and Persians are who? Why are we going to make them the United States?
Revelation
Verse
13.
So the lamb like
verse
beast comes out of the water.
Yep.
Probably 17.
No.
11.
Verse 11. And that animal is a what?
Lamb.
Which is a lamb isn't an animal. It's a sheep. It's a sheep. It's a baby sheep. So you connect the sheep. Yeah? The fact that they've both got two horns is nice, but they're both sheep. That would be the connection. So, what's the role of Cyrus? Is Cyrus the anointed? So he's going to, Cyrus the shepherd, so he's going to deliver God's people. That's the role that United States are going to have. They're going to deliver God's people. But the United States do not deliver a wound to Babylon. In 1798, they don't do that role, but Cyrus does that role. So Cyrus has got a dual role. Cyrus is a what? Two-horn power, Medo Persia. Sister Shamila?
When it says in Revelation 13:11, and I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, does that mean it was a lamb or a sheep? Because is it actually a sheep or is it like a sheep?
So was Jesus 30 when he was baptized? Or about 30?
I don't know the intricacies.
Do you know the wording? It says he was about 30, being about 30, he got
Okay,
baptized.
yeah,
So was he
about.
30 or was he about 30?
About 30.
So you don't think he could have been 31? Could have been 29?
I need to look at that text, sorry.
Okay, it won't help. It's just going to just say about 30. Shout out the verse when you find it. Luke chapter 3 verse 23. Luke 3:2-3. And Jesus himself began to be about 30 years of age. So was he 30 or was he about 30?
About 30.
So he could have been 29, 31.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In his so yeah, he could have been.
Could have been 28. It's about 30.
Yeah, but that's it's closer. Why would you say about 30 sounds like he's going to turn 30.
I'm just asking, are you telling me he's not 30? He could be,
Yeah, I'm
Plus or
saying
minus?
my answer is no. I don't think he was 30 based on that scripture.
so he could have been 29.
Yes, that's possible.
So he can become a priest at 29 years old when he begins to fulfill his role as a priest.
So it says, like, and Jesus himself began to be like as 30 years of age. That's the Hebrew. Excuse me, the Greek.
Yeah, but I'm asking you, do you think he could have been any kind of age, not 30?
Yeah, he could have been 29. I'm not going to dispute that. But
So you're not going to dispute that? So let me
not
ask you a different
29.
question then.
He could be 29 turning 30.
Okay, so do this calculation. What calculation are we going to do? No. Sorry? What date is this going to be?
4 BC.
Sorry?
4 BC.
How many years is that, Sister Shamila?
30.
About 30?
Exactly 30.
Exactly 30. So, what's this the history of?
The, um, it was to do with the pagan Rome.
No? Pagan Rome. Sister Alyssa?
I knew you were going to call me. It's the transition, but
Who's the subject?
Christ is the
Christ.
Lord.
Christ is dead long ago.
Right, but the
Okay, we'll go with that
Where's
one.
it go?
Christ. Finish it off, Sister Olivine.
Prepared for 30 years.
Who?
Oh, the papacy.
Who?
Contact.
Oh, Antichrist, sorry.
This is the story of the Antichrist.
Right, okay.
How long did the Antichrist minister for?
30 years.
No.
Minister.
Brother Jonathan, how long did the Antichrist minister for?
3.5 prophetic years.
Yeah, 3 and so. Yeah, because it would be a counterfeit to Christ's ministry.
It can't be a counterfeit because Christ could have been 29.
No,
Or
I'm talking
31.
about because doesn't it say, it says it somewhere that Jesus' ministry was for 3.5 years. I
Where
read
does it say that?
I think I read it somewhere in the Spirit of Prophecy.
Bible verse.
I don't know my memory, but I can find it.
Brother Barry. Bible verse. Jesus. 3.5 years.
The midst of the week, Daniel.
Don't I'm going to split you if you do that again. You're whispering in his ear. Daniel? Chapter, go with the chapter. Brother Jonathan will tell you the verse.
Daniel 9.
Daniel 9. The verse, Brother Jonathan.
In between 24 and 27.
That's good enough. In between 24 and 27.
25.
So in the midst of the week, week is 7.
Yeah.
Yep, so we've got 3.5. Yep. So this could, you can calculate that and it could be 29 or 31.
Yeah.
You sure? Between this date and this date could be 29.
No, that would be an exact 30.
But Jesus wouldn't be exact 30.
Why is the word about there?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
But whatever the reason is, it's not to say that it could be a different number.
Yeah, I can see how it can be 30 now, based on that example.
that it has to be 30.
Yeah.
Why else does it have to be 30? Anyone else? Sorry?
Priest had to be 30 years.
Priest has to be 30 years old.
Yeah.
Another example that Joseph.
Okay,
Yeah, he was in full fear.
Yep.
okay, that's,
Okay.
yeah, that's my point is freezing.
So-
Why were we going there?
Sorry?
Why were we going?
Why were we going there?
Like,
I can't remember. Why did we go
lamp-like.
there? Sorry?
Revelation 13 verse 11, it says a lamp-like beast.
Oh yes, because Sister Shamila said it's is it a lamb or does it just look like a lamb? Is it a lamb-like?
Word like.
Yeah. So I'm just saying,
It has to be.
yeah, if it's so let's go to Romans 8:3. It's for Sister Terry. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh. So it says likeness. I don't know if anybody can, maybe you could do it, Sister Shamila. Is that likeness the same as the like in Revelation?
A form.
Is it the same word?
Like.
Is that Greek word there, likeness? Is it the same word that's in Revelation? I'm just interested. It doesn't make a real difference. 3667, is it the same one that's in?
I'm just looking at the numbers now.
No, it's not.
It's not the same.
No, it's 3664 in Revelation.
Meaning?
Meaning the last number is different.
No, I mean, what's the meaning of the word?
Similar. I mean,
What does it mean? Tell us the definition.
in appearance or character.
In appearance or character, and this one means
Resemblance.
so, Sister Terry, when it says Jesus was, I'll read the verse. For what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, God sending his own Son in the likeness of sinful flesh. So, does that mean he came in sinful flesh, or he just looked like sinful flesh?
Well, the word means similar to. My
Made
understanding
like-
was that it's sinful flesh.
That it
He took
is.
on the nature of man.
So it's not sort of like something that just looks like it.
No,
It is it.
yeah.
So I'm saying when it says he looked like a lamb-like beast, it was a lamb.
Okay.
Yeah. And
May I? The word like in the Revelation 13:11, lamb-like, is the same that's in several parables that Jesus quotes of, you know, the kingdom of heaven is like unto something.
I'm just trying to think if there was another example that came to my mind. Okay, what about the concept or the idea of the image of the beast? What does image mean? Copy. And is it a stretch to say a copy means like? It's like, it looks like this thing. So could we do that?
Looking like. Is that the same as actually the exact same? Looking like an exact same. I don't know if I can.
But that's my question. How do we approach these verses that when it says about, like, looks like, image of the beast, which is a copy, which is like. So Okay, we have. I'm pretty sure. I think we've done this in class. The beast. Sister Sarah, what is the beast? Revelation 13, Revelation 13. What is Revelation 13? Don't know. Oh, 17. We'll go with 17 then. Sorry? Kingdom. Which one? Papacy. So you say this is the papacy. You're going to say. If we went to Revelation 17, what head number is this? 5. Everybody, if someone disagrees or don't understand, say, so we'll explain it. Because if no one says anything, Sister says 5 and no one objects, I'm just going to put 5 and think you all know what she's talking about. If you don't know what she's talking about, then just say.
No idea.
Yep. Okay, so this is number 5. So, image of the beast is who? Sorry? A title first before head number. Who is the image of the beast?
Papacy.
Sorry? Papacy?
United States.
United States?
Modern.
Oh, so we've got 3 different answers.
You win.
4 different answers.
You're asking who, not what.
Is that
That's what's tripping, I think.
I asked who?
Yes.
Okay, then I'll ask what then. Okay, I'll go back to this one. What is the beast? Do you want happy with that answer? So if I said what was the beast, what would you have put here?
Yeah, same.
So if I said who was the beast, what would you have put
Yeah,
here?
fair enough.
So I wasn't being tricky. I just. What is the image of the beast? Then would you give a different answer?
No, I thought it was Sunday laws. Not a who.
Then you have to change this then.
Yes, okay. I see your logic.
Okay, so someone said, who said papacy?
Image of the papacy.
How can it be the papacy if it's an image of it?
The papacy and the USA.
That looks like puppy.
The image of the papacy.
No, papacy.
No
P-A-P.
C's there.
Can I
A-C-Y.
change
Or
it to
USA.
image of the papacy?
Just a scribble.
I was the one who said papacy, but can I change it to image of the papacy? Please. So it's not exactly the papacy, but the image of the papacy.
So the papacy lives in Rome,
Yes.
and so is this copy of the papacy around at the moment?
Yes.
Which country is it in?
America.
So you've got which city is this thing living in?
Which thing?
The copy of the papacy.
I don't know about city. I don't know the exact location. But I think it's being set up in the USA.
So is it? So you're going to have 2 papacies now, one in Europe and one in America.
Yeah, because the papacy has their army, don't they?
So you're going to have 2 popes.
No, a copy of the papacy. So I don't think it's the same.
So it's
I
not
don't-
the papacy.
No, an image of the papacy. So they're going to have the
Yeah,
characteristics.
so I'd like to know the person who it is.
That's what I already said. It's the armies of Rome.
So so I'll take that out.
Yeah.
So who is the image of the beast?
Church and state.
Okay, you keep on giving me different answers every time I ask the
So-
same question.
But it's the same.
I'll give you a
because
second. Give me
you know
take a
this
second.
different.
Take a second before you answer. So I'll ask someone else. Then give me don't change the next answer. Image of the beast. This is the. Olamine said something. You're saying this is modern Rome. Anybody else? Anybody else have a different answer? My sister Cheryl?
It's great.
Oh, no, don't share a quote with us.
Oh, okay.
We don't want to do spirit prophecy. No, don't. Tell me what you think it is. You can read the quote yourself and give me what you think. But tell me what the image of the beast is.
The United States.
Sorry?
The
United States. So you're saying, so some people are saying modern Rome and some people are saying the United States.
I would go with modern Rome as well.
I'll just go with someone else first.
Sorry.
Anyone else? Robert Tyler?
What is the image of the beast?
Yes. Or
Do you
who?
want the head number? Do you want the
Not head number yet.
not head number yet? It's modern Rome, I think.
Okay, so we've got 3 people who are doing that. Okay, head number now. 7. Brother Jonathan?
8.
8. Brother Larry? 3.
8.
8. Sister Olivine? 7. You're not related? Brother Luke?
7.
Oh, you've got some support. Okay, so my question is, after 1 month being together, how comes we've got this discrepancy? We should all be on the same page. So that's I'm telling you off, because they're not on the same page. Sister Terry.
Oh, I was going with 6.
This is number 6.
The image.
Okay. It's going from bad to worse.
That's why. Shut up.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to put you into a hard place. Brother Tyler.
I do 7.
7.
7.
You can have another go, Brother Tyler.
I'm gonna say 8.
You're probably going to say 5.
I'm gonna go for 8.
He's gonna stick with 1711.
It can't be 5. That's
Sorry,
now it's
6.
getting really
You're
bad.
gonna
It's
say
5.
6.
Okay, so you switch to 8. Who said USA?
I did.
Okay, so if you've got a beast and you've got a copy of it, yeah?
Church and state, that's what I was...
No, I got church and state. You said modern Rome. I heard you say modern Rome.
Yeah, I would accept that. That's
Okay,
correct.
so the beast and the image of the beast, are they the same thing? Can we do that?
Yeah.
Based upon Jesus was about 30 years old, the lamb looks like, the beast looks like a lamb, Christ was created in the likeness of sinful flesh. Whether it's like or not like, it's the same thing. Do we agree with that? Yeah? So, in this story here, what is this entity? Church or a state? So, I've got the beast as a church. So, the people who said the USA, what is the USA, a church or a state? So, they've got this as a state. So, explain how a church can equal a state. It's a rhetorical question because it can't. Yeah, you can't have a church equal a state. They're not the same thing. So if you put that, it doesn't work. So what is modern Rome, a church or a state? So if I put, I'm going to take the word papacy out and I'm going to call this papal Rome. What is papal Rome, a church or a state? Now it's become a state now.
Well, it's a mix. It's a
Sister Sarah?
papacy is different than papal
Sorry?
Rome.
Church and state.
Yeah, papacy is different.
The papacy is different than papal Rome, right? Then
Why have you added Rome?
Because you put Rome here, so I just put Rome there.
Okay.
Brother Jonathan?
Papacy is, was, and will be only a church.
Yeah.
It was in the past. It was only a church. It was never a state in the sense that it had its own military power. It always needed the help of a state.
So you're saying papacy, papal Rome, it's all the same thing. Modern Rome, it's all church. Is that what you mean by that statement?
At least I would say the papal Rome, they acted like a church in the past. They wanted to be a king, but they were not. They had no state power.
Because isn't the fifth kingdom the European nations?
Oh, so you want to change this one? So you're saying...
I'm
so
saying the fifth kingdom is the European nation.
Yeah, so there's two answers. Oh, you're saying that the fifth is...
I'm defining the fifth, not necessarily the beast. Oh,
Okay,
yes,
so
well, it is the beast, but yeah.
Go to number 5 then.
Yeah, yep. But it's still the European nations as well. It's a combination. You've got to have a corrupt church and a corrupt state.
So,
A woman rides the beast. If you're going fifth kingdom, then you're looking at Revelation 17,
yeah,
and there's a woman riding the beast.
okay.
Yeah, all right.
What?
Well,
You're on a roll. Carry on. So tell me what the beast is here. I'll scrap all of that.
there's a woman riding the beast in Revelation 17, so it's the state power that she's controlling.
So tell me a definition of a beast.
A
Of the
kingdom.
beast.
The European nations, if you're looking at the fifth kingdom,
Looking at the beast.
yes,
Define beast. Beast is state
and church.
and church. And the image of the beast?
Same, only it's a different church.
Do we agree with that? Silence means you all agree.
Just repeated yourself. State and church, state and church.
But a different
No, I didn't repeat myself. Sister Terry did. Her work. I'm just putting it up here. So she repeated herself. And you did. Does that mean you disagree?
I don't know what I'm agreeing with. I didn't hear everything. Sorry.
Repeat it again. She says the definition of the beast is not all of this stuff. It's a state and a church. That's what she said. She said more than that, but I just simplified it. Then I said, well, what's an image of the beast? She says it's the same thing. Why is it the same thing? Because we just did it here. The beast is the image of the beast. They're the same thing. There's an equal sign. So whatever you're on this side, you have to do on this side.
So
So
when
if,
I said USA, I meant republicanism and Protestantism.
so if you do church
not
and
just
state, you have to do church and state. So I'm not sure what you're objecting to that, because you agreed that you can put an equal there.
I didn't object. I was just saying I didn't know why it was there, why it was being repeated. So
Because
I
it's got
understand.
repeated here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you explained that.
Okay, so now she's going to define what state this is. Oh, who said it wasn't the same church? So these are different churches.
Yep.
Tell me what church this one was.
The Catholic Church,
And tell me what church this one is.
Protestant churches.
Everybody agree with that?
Sorry.
She was quiet. I couldn't hear back there.
Yeah, it's difficult to hear.
Did she? I thought I heard people and Protestant.
She said this was the papacy and this was
Protestantism.
Protestantism.
Which one is which, sorry?
Papacy, Protestantism.
Depends on where you are.
Where are you?
In America, it's Protestantism. In Europe, for example, it's the Catholic Church.
Okay.
In a sense, who is gonna oppose the truth?
So you're in Revelation 17, Sister Terry, yes? So what does this look like in Revelation 17? This state. So this is the beast. And what does this look like?
A woman.
A woman or the woman?
The woman.
This is the woman. What does this look like in Revelation 17? Which one?
Oh, in Revelation 17.
You did 6, 7 and all this heads. Same place, Revelation 17, because this is number 5.
Can't we go to Revelation 13 now?
No, because we've got heads here.
Okay.
So what's this one?
Revelation 17, you want an animal.
Is it that animal or a different one?
It's a
The
different
beast.
animal.
Is it?
Oh.
Uh-uh.
So the top one is the fifth kingdom. So
Okay,
it's
but it's a beast, the beast of
Yes.
Revelation 17.
Yeah.
And what animal is this one?
I guess it's all the same beast, isn't it?
Okay, so I'll do that. It's the same beast.
Yeah.
And what woman is this one?
In Revelation 17, it's all the same woman.
Okay. So it's the same.
Because he's showing the judgment of the beast, and that's the whole history, isn't it?
Okay, so it's the same one. Then what's the difference between this one and this one? It's the head numbers. You can tell me.
Right, the heads. Okay.
Okay, so you're saying this is number 5 head,
Yeah. So all the same beasts with different heads.
and this one here. So what head number are we on now?
7.
Well, I thought 6.
Okay, so let's go to 17, verse 8, I think. If people are watching this video, this is just a good digression, but it's a digression of where we were going. But I think it's useful just so that we can clear up some ideas. 8. No, we're not going to go to 8. We'll go to 10. There are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, 1 is, and the other is not yet come. So we've got past, present, and future. And where are we? Here, in the present. 5, 6, 7. I'll have to do 1 to 5 like that. Yeah? We're okay with that. So we're here. In this history here, then we'll go to verse 11. The beast that was past was, then what did it say? Is not. Is not. Next.
And shall be.
Shall be.
Even here's the 8, we've got the 7, so it's future.
So it's not here, it's here. We've got number 8. And I can put shall be. So in the history of the 6, what condition is the beast in? So it's dead. So we know when we get to this one here, we've got the church in the state. Can't be number 6 head, because in number 6 head you don't have a beast. So we can knock that one out. And it tells you this beast, when it's going to come up, number 8. So are we okay with that now if you put a 6 or a 7 there? It can't be 6 or 7, it has to be 8. Is that clear? Is there an 8th head, by the way? There isn't an 8th head. So this is teaching that whatever this is, number 8, it says is of the 7, which means it's a copy of what? It's a copy of another one of those ones that have already existed. And if we're saying it's the beast and the image of the beast is and the beast was number 5, then this is number 8. You know that 8 is a copy of number 5. You agree with that? So if it's a copy, is it the same thing? Copy is an image, it's like, it's all... At one level it's identical, isn't it? Because it has all the same characteristics. What's the difference? How do we know it's not the same? Which verse did we go to for that before?
How do we know what?
It's not the same beast, it's a different beast.
You mean between 8 and 5?
Yes. Because we've got beast, an image of the beast, but I want to change that. I want to call it old beast and new beast. Is it fair to do that? Don't call it an image of the beast, Call it a new beast. Can we do that? Why can we do that, Sister Olivine?
Because the old beast was the 7 European nations.
And
This new beast is the world.
the what?
The world.
So you've got the old and
And
you've
the
got
new world.
the new.
Yeah.
Revelation chapter 17 verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was alive and is not alive and shall ascend. So is it the same beast?
Yeah.
It's the same beast. So it's not an old and a new beast, but it's the same beast. And what's he going to ascend out of? So it's a new manifestation. So it's a same beast or a new beast? It's a new manifestation of satanic power. So it's a new beast. It's the same beast, but it's new. It's the same beast, but it's new. What makes it the same? The same characteristics. Sorry? The first. But I mean, why would it be the same and yet different? It's the same because it's the same characteristics. Because who's driving this engine? Same church, papal church, is driving it. So it's the same because it's following the same principles. Why is it new?
Resurrection.
Yeah, but why is it new?
Other time period.
It's other time period. It's new because
New state.
it's a different state. It's new because it's a different state. It's going to get a different partner to do its work. But it's the same because all the principles are the same. It runs on the same same principle, same thing. And it's the same church. So when we think about the image of the beast, it's the same thing that's happened before. It's nothing unusual or different. So the thing that trips some people up is they wanted to say that this was the USA and this was Protestantism. Is that incorrect or is it correct? I asked two questions. I don't know if what you say no to. Correct or incorrect?
Well, based on the logic you just presented, it's incorrect.
Okay. But
It's also correct.
it's correct.
It's correct.
You're saying it is correct. It's correct because this image of the beast is going to go from local to worldwide. They're going to make their own image of the beast, and once that's set up, they're going to say everybody has to copy our model. So that is a correct model, the United States and Protestantism, because when the people when whoever said the state here, I said, who is the state? I can't remember what answers people gave. I hope they didn't put the USA here, did they?
Yes.
Because you can't be the USA. This can't be the USA, because this is the USA and Protestantism. What's this state? This is the United Nations. This is the 10 kings. 10 kings that rule with the whore for 1 hour. Sorry?
Where's the, because you have the arrow for the, is that for the 8th or the 5th?
This arrow here.
Yeah.
All I was just saying is, when we look at the state, is it... I'll take the arrow out because it might confuse people. I'm saying this combination of church and state is a mini version, if you like, of what's about to happen on the worldwide stage. It's a progression. Brother Tyler.
The reason Revelation 17 is tricky sometimes because you can't separate the 7th from the 8th, because without the 7th you don't have an 8th in terms of they reign 1 hour with the beast. And that is the image of the beast. So the 7th is, there really isn't an 8th. It's just all the 7th almost.
Oh, but what is
Maybe it's a bad way of saying it.
What is the 7th head?
It's the United Nations
On its own?
on its own, I guess.
Yeah. So that's a subtle difference. It's the United Nations on its own. But we've got here USA, and the USA is number 6. So it's a bit of juggling and a bit of trickery to do that. But if we're going to be technically correct, it has to be number 8. Because number 8 is the resurrection of the beast. And the beast by definition is not all of this stuff. It's the combination of church and state. So when we say, and we start counting down and we get to number 5, and we always say it's the papacy, we all know that that's not correct. It's not right to call it the papacy because the heads are just this bit. So this is the European kings. This is Protestant, these are the 10 kings, and this is Protestant America. So it's all kings. The 10 kings of Europe, we know there's not 10 of them, but it says 10 kings and 10 kings, it's the same. 10 kings, church, church, it's identical. Sister Terry. Tess.
Why then does it imply the woman sits on all of them?
It doesn't imply it, it says she does.
Then you must have that at every...
Yes. So when you've got Babylon right here, who's sitting on Babylon?
Mystery.
The woman. She's sitting on Medo Persia, she's sitting on Greece. So that's why I'm saying this is just a church that you've got to consider. You cannot say that this is the papacy all the way through. In one specific context, at number 5, it's the papal church.
Then how can it not be 6 and 7?
Because at number 6, the beast is dead. And the beast, by definition, is the church and the state joined together.
There's just one head there.
So when you get to number 6, what does number 6 look like? What's number 6 look like? Sorry?
A head.
Revelation 13. What does number 6 look like?
It's a lamb-like beast.
With 2 horns.
2 horns.
And there's something about these 2 horns. There's a what? Separation of church and state, which is the constitution. It's a constitution that keeps what? Dead. Or in fact kills. It kills the beast. You cannot have a beast while you have a constitution. So in the time period when the 6th head is ruling, where America is ruling, it won't allow a beast to exist. And it won't allow a beast to exist because the Constitution forbids it. So to create a beast, what do you have to do? You have to kill or destroy the Constitution. That has to be removed. Now you can get to a situation or a scenario where you're going to have the ability to produce a beast, or a beast can be made. And when you make this beast, it's not just going to be some random beast, it's going to be the same one that gets resurrected that was killed originally. This is Daniel 11 verse 40, is it not?
Can I
The papacy gets killed, and now it's going to come back and it's going to kill back, it's going to take revenge. So it's the same person it's doing this work. Does that make sense? Which bit doesn't make sense?
You have a living head on a dead beast.
This is the complexity about this thing. Parables are really powerful, but they also give us a headache. Because what you've really got is 7 separate beasts, essentially. And if you can conceptualize it that way, so the woman, is she going to sit on the 6th head and create a beast, which is a combination of church and state, during the time period of the 6th? The answer is yes, and everybody just said it's no, because I told you it was no, because I told you it, and the Bible tells you when you're here, the beast is dead. But the woman sitting on this head, sitting on the beast, you've got a church and state relationship going on. So we have to be able to explain that. And how do we explain that? If you don't forget your question, how do we explain that? She's riding the beast, church and state. So you have a beast there, but the beast is dead. So the question is, do you have a beast? Let's establish that.
There has to be.
You have a beast.
A dead beast.
The beast is there, but it's dead. We agree with that? When you're at this stage here, you have a beast. What's the definition of a beast?
Kingdom.
Church and state come together. Sorry?
Oh, you said what's the definition of a beast?
Yes.
That's new to me.
That's why I
Why
gave
is-
you
why is
king
it-
kingdom, because you said
Okay.
Why is a beast the combination of church and
See?
state?
This is this is the complexity of Revelation 17, because at one level the beast in and of itself is just state, and one it's the woman. But as you read through the chapter, if you kept those definitions strict, it wouldn't make sense.
I don't get that.
I don't know how to explain it. It's
just as if the woman and the beast is the papacy and the beast is the papacy.
yeah, but that's not correct.
And the woman is the
No, that's what I'm saying. It's the same. If you have that, because that's how you were taught in church.
So, at number one, you've got the woman riding a government. And when the woman rides a government, you have a beast that's doing what? That is alive. Agree with that? And he goes all the way through until you get to this one. The woman is riding the beast, but this beast that she's riding is dead. But she's still riding it, she's still sitting on it. Does it make sense at that level?
Yeah.
It's just a test. What doesn't make sense? That she can sit on a dead beast.
That you're sitting on it a 1 to 5.
Okay, so that's okay. Is that the issue? Is that what the issue?
One of
Okay, so we'll tackle that way. How can the woman be riding
Babylon.
Babylon? So, if you go back to just, standard evangelistic theories that Adventists have, they'll call the papacy what? They'll say papacy is nothing more than this person here. Who's this person?
Pope.
No, not the Pope.
The fish head.
Sorry, who's it?
The fish head.
Yeah. And his
Oh.
name is
Oh, is it Marduk? No.
Dagon. Dagon the fish god. They'll say the papacy is nothing, and they tell you it is. They've got their robes, and if you do the graphics right, it just looks like an upturned fish, literally. So, papacy is what? It's Dagon dressed up in Christian garb, or paganism dressed up in Christian garb. It's the same thing. So once you can conceptualize that the papacy, the papal church, is nothing more than the pagan church, just in a different guise, then you can go back to 1, 2, 3 and 4. Because it's the same church all the way through. The church dresses up as a Babylonian person, Medo-Persian person, Grecian person, and then a pagan person, and then eventually it changes its clothes and wears a Christian garb. But it's the same one all the way through. We can conceptualize that. Everybody agree with that? So, if you can agree with that, then hopefully this won't stretch your mind too much. Where do you begin this story? With the beasts. You begin it at number 1, and you end with number, we'll go with 7 because there's only 7 heads. It goes from 1 to 7. It has to be 7 because it's complete. So you've got the Alpha and the Omega. You could do so many things. But this is the, how much of the story is this? The full story. Yeah? When did the problem begin? At the beginning. And how long does it continue for? All the way. So what kind of a problem is this? It's a it's a continual problem, and it happens every day. So it's a daily problem. What is daily? Or the daily, sorry? Church or state? Church. Maybe it's not that easy to conceptualize it, but this is church. Sorry?
It's a religion.
We'll do the, yeah, religion. Yeah, but she's qualifying that, because sometimes you think about church in maybe in a not a right way, but it's religion. So this woman is this religion, and she starts up at number 1 and ends up at number 7. So the woman equals what? She's been around for how long? Since the beginning. So she is the she's the daily. She's the continual. She's been around forever and a day. So when you go back into Daniel chapter 8 and you start making the distinction between the daily and the transgression of desolation, that's just a moot point. Because there is no transgression of desolation. You've just got the daily running all the way through. But at some point in history, the daily changes garb. It looks different. So we give it a new name. Yes, although I don't think we could find a verse to show us that, because that would be 538, and I don't think we've got a verse to show us that, because what we want to see in Daniel chapter 8 and in this theme, that it is a continual. It's the same thing that's punishing God's people all the way through. It just begins with the people of the prince, and it ends with the flood. And that's Daniel chapter 9, verse 26 and 27. The punishment begins with the people of the prince, I think it says, and then it ends with the flood. So does that answer your question, Sister Tess? The woman is not the papacy. The woman, when you take a snapshot of her, she's the papacy, because it depends when you took her picture. So they took the picture in Revelation 17 when? When you were here at number 5. And so what colour is the woman going to be wearing? What's her outfit? It's going to be scarlet. And who's her partner? The European kings. And what religion have they all become? Catholic. So what's their colour coding? Scarlet. That's why it's a scarlet coloured beast. Revelation 17. It's just a snapshot in history, here at number 5, and basically it all looks red. So if it had taken the picture when it was number 1, what would it have looked like? It would look like gold. If we're going to use, because it would be a convenient thing to do this, it would look gold. She'd be wearing some golden apparel, and it would be a golden clad beast, and then it would change all the way through. But we've taken a snapshot here. And then, why did we take the snapshot at number 5? Why not earlier? Because you could have done it any time you wanted to. Because God wants to teach us something, doesn't He? What does He want to teach us?
About the deadly wound.
Yep, that number 5 is number 5 that's repeated. And when 5 is going to be repeated as what? 8. So number 8, we said it's church and state. Yeah? Church and state, church and state. Are we okay with what we've done so far? So now we'll add one more complexity to it, because the church and state, how many states are there? 2. UN, sorry, not UN, USA and the UN, number 6 and number 7. They coexist at the same time. They live together. So you have a threefold union. 1, 2, 3. Threefold union. Because what's so special about number 5 that you never had before, besides 2 armies, it's a threefold union. So there's some unique characteristics about number 5. I'll put 3, threefold, threefold. Do we know what the threefold union is for number 5?
Rome on the east and Rome on the west.
Yep. It's these 7 here, Western Europe, the Germanic tribes, and then the Byzantine Empire, what morphs into Byzantine Empire on the east, Constantinople and the 7 European kings. So there's a threefold union. And you have to have that dynamic happening in the time period of the 1260, otherwise the papacy would have been killed. Because if they just had one army, the 5th and 6th woe, particularly the 6th, would have gone in and attacked it through Spain, or vice versa. So it has to have both. And then we take those characteristics of both of those armies and then plug them into end time history. Yeah? So on the west, how many kingdoms you got protecting the papacy? On the west? 7. But we're going to say 10 because you've got, the beast had 10 horns. We understand that 3 of them got plucked up, but the symbol of 10 is this symbol of support.
Okay.
So at the end of the world, you've got the symbol of 10 kings. Who does Islam in Bible prophecy attack? Does it attack the 10 kings? These ones here. It doesn't. It attacks the singular one, which is pagan Rome on the east. So that singular one would be who at the end of the world? The United States. So that's why you see this struggle between them and the United States. Who at the end of the world is going to destroy the papacy? The 10 horns. The 10 horns do, specifically France, when you go back to 1260. But France then becomes a symbol of those 10. By the way, we've done Isaiah 6 verse 13. Isaiah 6:13. Remnant. What's the symbol of a remnant? 10th. Revelation 11 verse 13. 11:13. You should remember that. Why? 11:13, 13:11. Talking about the same power. Yeah? Same power. Do you agree with that? One's France, one's America. And what does it say about France? How big? 10th. So what's that telling you what France is? It's the remnant of the 10. That's why I'm saying we can put 7, but it's 10. It's the remnant of the 10. The remnant of the 10 is going to sort out the problem. And who's going to sort out the problem at the end of the world? The USA is going to come and punish and destroy the papacy, because who is the United States? 2-horn power, symbolized by Isaiah 46. Cyrus was France. France, the remnant, is going to come and punish the papacy, which is the role that the United States is going to have. So, yes? I don't know why we say armies, because it's only one army.
Army of Rome.
That was a facetious point. We say armies because it's not going to do the job by itself.
Yeah.
It's going to get everyone else involved in saying we're all going to come and fight. So did everybody get all those loose pieces tied together? Just one other point. We developed a theory that says Cyrus at the time of the end punishes Babylon. It has a twofold role. It kills and it's the benefactor for God's people. Then if you go to 1798, you've got two powers that do that, France and America. So America is the benefactor. But at the very end, America does what? It does the work that Cyrus does. It kills Mystery Babylon. Brother Tyler, Brother Jonathan.
I was just going to ask you answer my question.
Oh. So what was the say that?
The question, I didn't hear if you said the United States kills the papacy or if the UN kills the papacy.
The United States. It has to because it's a symbol of France. But France in the time of the end, 1798, did that work that Cyrus does. But it was France, it was two separate powers. But at the end of the world, America takes both roles on. Brother Jonathan.
My question is related to that, but in Revelation 17:16 it says that the 10 horns are going to hate the woman and eat her flesh and all that stuff. How does that work? Or did I lose something?
Yes, it says all 10, but I'm just using the symbol of Revelation 11, where France, in the original history, for the beast and the image of the beast they're gonna get the same problem.
Yeah, I get that.
And we know who should actually destroy this beast power. Who should be doing that work?
God's people?
Islam.
Islam.
Islam should be doing that. They're the woe that was designed and created to sort out people who make Sunday laws. Because that's the purpose of trumpets, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Trumpets, the purpose of a trumpet is to punish Rome when it makes a Sunday law. That's why the 4 trumpets come and punish pagan Rome, they make a Sunday law. And that's why the 2 trumpets afterwards, 5 and 6, punished the papacy when they makes a Sunday law. And there's one more, the 7th woe, when modern Rome makes a Sunday law. So Islam should be doing that work, but they fail in their duty. They don't do their job. So someone else has to finish that work off. And France did it in that history, and America will do it in our history.
Okay, but America is, if it typifies France, all the way around, France is just a tenth of 10, but the verse says all 10 horns.
No, I agree. America's going to get the whole world to do this job for it. It's not just.
Are you saying America is the engine, so to speak, to drive the others doing
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
But isn't it the same principle then that we teach when we say America becomes the premier king of the 10 kings?
King of Kings.
So therefore, if it becomes the premier king of the 10 kings, then it has command over them, it can...
Yeah. Because America is a 10th part of the city.
Yes.
Now, in that history, only the 10th did it. France. But at the end of the world, this 10th is going to get everyone to do that. Let's have a look at Isaiah 46, verse 10. So, how would you approach this verse? What does this verse mean? Declaring the end from the beginning, and from ancient times, the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure. So, what are the ancient times? I want you to define ancient times for me. You're saying Alpha?
Can you use a text?
Which text would you like to use?
Isaiah 44:7, when the ancient people lived.
Anyone else? Can we define it in the verse itself? Who said yes? A couple of people?
Beginning.
Sorry?
The beginning.
Show me how you do that.
Declaring the end from the beginning, and then it says ancient times, from ancient times, the things that are not yet done. So we can see that the things that are not yet done is the end, and the ancient times are the beginning.
And what have you just done to do that?
It's to repeat and enlarge.
Okay, so Isaiah 46:10 is a really simple example of repeat and enlarge. So show me how it's structured.
And
Yeah, and.
Two clauses
Yeah, and from the beginning.
separated by
or
then two clauses.
Yeah.
So what's this one?
End,
and
beginning.
It's just a comma.
Yeah, ancient times. Things that are not yet done.
So is that repeat and enlarge? And a chiasm as well on top of it.
Yeah.
So you've got a repeat and enlarge and a chiasm.
Where's the chiasm?
Who said it was a chiasm? Sister Tess?
It
You've got to
doesn't,
speak loud.
it doesn't do them in order. It goes from outside in. So end, not yet. Beginning.
Okay.
Yeah? So the Bible is defining exactly what it's saying. So if it says not yet equals what? The end. And ancient times equals the beginning. So when you go to Revelation 17, and we looked at a couple of verses, what they kept on talking about in the future? What was the phraseology? It's different in different places. So it says, yet is,
shall ascend.
we have shall be, ascend. Any other ones? Are we all in 17? Just give me the phrase for the future one. There's at least 3, if not 4 verses that do this.
Not yet come.
Not yet.
Is not yet, do you mean as yet? Is that verse 12 for the...
I don't know, I'm just...
Oh,
Verse 10 says not yet come.
Oh, no, okay. Verse 12 as well, 17, 12.
says,
Have received no kingdom as yet.
as yet.
As yet.
13. Shall give.
Sorry?
13 it means says shall give.
Okay, so I guess that's enough. You can see you've got exactly the same phrase here as you've got here. So if you're going to do line upon line or proof texting, what do you know about Revelation 17 when it says past, present and future? What is when it talks about the future, when is it speaking about? It's speaking about the end by definition. You don't have to guess. You don't have to say, well, I think it's at the end because we've run out of head numbers or anything like that. By definition, it's talking about end. So can we see that? Yeah? So we've picked up the word end, we've proof texted it in the verse itself by recognizing you've got repeat and enlarge and a chiasm. The chiasm is just a nicety, but it's repeat and enlarge. So you've defined that not yet equals the end. And so when you come to this history here, you're in the place where it says not yet, which is the future. But now you know that the future is the end. But if you come back to here, if you're at the head number 6, which is the United States, when does number 6 begin? 1798. So we know that 1798 is not the end, don't we? How do we know it's not the end? Because we've just proven it here. Yeah. We've just proven that the future is the end. Yeah. And the future happens under what head? As soon as you get from number 6, you get to number 7. You can put 7 and 8, I don't mind, but it's not number 6. That's the point I want to bring up. So the end is when you get to number 7. So just that we've run out of time. Just as a casual thing, you could if you really dug this out, we could prove this, show this, that when it says the end, it's talking about the end of the world. And the end of the world is the time of the end. Not just in the time of the end, it's at the end. Because you can't say in the time of the end using this meaning. Because if it was in the time of the end, where would you be? Here, from 6 to 7. But 7 and onwards is defined as being the not yet history, which is the end. I don't know if we can see that connection.
Can you say that thing about the space? You lost me there. The space between 5, was it 6 and 7 or 5 and 7?
So, if we're here, 5, 6, 7, this is 1798. And 1798 is called the time of the end, because that's the end of the world. And Ellen White's going to tell you, we're now living in, not at, in the time of the end. She's going to get all that history as a singular thing, call it in. But if you've proof text this correctly, which we have, Isaiah 46:10, what is it teaching you? That we're here in this history. Are we at the end of the world? We're not at the end. So you've got a conflict between Daniel 11 and Isaiah 46 verse 10 and Revelation 17.
You said you can't be at the end till the 7th kingdom, but then you said something about the time of the end, which is 1989. So there's a conflict there as well that you'd have to resolve as well.
Did everybody understand that?
You were saying that the time in the time of the end and at the time of the end are two different meanings. So, because Daniel 11:40 says that we're at the time of the end, not in the time of the end.
Yeah, at the time of the end is here.
At the time, okay. But we're not in the time of the end yet.
Of course we are. Otherwise it says it repeatedly.
You just said we're not in the time of the end. So you did say we're not in the time of the end yet.
No, I said, according to this, I'm saying there's a conflict. According to Ellen White, the way you would read it, we're in the time of the end from 1798. But according to this understanding, we're not. So how do we resolve that issue that Brother Tyler's just brought up? When does America begin to rise up? No, biblically, prophetically, it's 1798, where you mark the time of the end. But it's rising up long before that, 1776. So it's been around for a long time. So when it's talking about this end, and we're thinking about the concept of the time of the end, I'm not saying we have to study this a lot deeper, but we can begin. All I want to show us is that using repeat and enlarge the way we've just done here, by letting the Bible define itself in this specific way, you can begin to open up, and that's all I want us to do, is just open this up, just this thought, that using this and bringing it back into this history, that you can begin to see that the time of the end isn't just 1798. There has to be something more to end time prophecy than just this 1798, and we're in the time of the end in some kind of generic sense. And so then you have to understand what this event is here. When you transition from the 6th to the 7th. And when is that? Because it's not Sunday law. Brother Todd? This is midnight cry. This is when that transition happens. So you have to see this transition that America is going to go from the 6th into the 7th. So, like in about 10 seconds, we're just going to get all this together. And when you go to 6, 7, and 8, 6, 7, and 8, what's that speaking about, this 6, 7, and 8? Because we're going to say it's the United States, the United Nations, and this beast power.
Threefold union.
So we've got threefold union. That's how we would normally do it. But what we're beginning to understand when we think about the number 45, what is these three things talking about? One president who's going to take three roles. The role of a Republican, the role of Alexander the Great, this dictator who just stomps on everybody, and what? The bed partner of the papacy. So you can begin to see that this threefold union isn't just three people, it's actually three entities. It's actually one person who's going to take on three roles. So there's a lot that we could talk about and unpackage, but all I wanted to show you is that if you go and let the Bible do what it's supposed to do, interpret itself, it opens up a lot of avenues that sometimes you wouldn't maybe think about, and the implications of what those mean. Now, we've taught us for a long while, at the time of the end, these two events happened, 1798, 1989, and people think you're making it up. But it's all there to be discovered still, if we're willing to allow the Bible to do what it wants to do. Hopefully that didn't make too much of a confusion to your minds. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you and praise you for your goodness and mercy. As we try to conceptualize and understand the work of the papacy, the work of the kings of the earth that support her, may this understanding settle deep within our minds and our hearts, so that we might make the adequate preparation that we need to be able to stand at the end of the world. Lord, I ask and pray that you would be with us, bless us and guide us, direct us, Father, into a closer understanding of these truths, is our prayer in the name of Jesus. Amen.